In tonight's episode,
My name is Tinashe Zindi. I'm a co-founder of Honey Fountains ZW.
I'm Danford Mndandishe from Cleanup Detergents.
My name is Kelly Ndlovu, Creative Director of Bantu Clothing.
Perfect. You know exactly what you want.
Your numbers are a little bit all over the place.
Next time, don't try what you tried, because figures don't lie.
this season of The Eagle's Nest is proudly brought to you by Zimtrade and EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, in partnership with UN Women. First in the nest tonight is Kelly, a fashion designer from Bulawayo.
I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling nervous, but I'm feeling excited because this is my first time doing an interview or pitching. So I'm nervous at the same time excited. Hello, judges.
Hello.
How are you?
Welcome to the show. Tell us your name and what your business is about.
Thank you. My name is Kelly Ndlovu. I'm the founder and creative director of Bantu Clothing. So during my course of my designing period at Edgar's, I then noted that there was a uniquely African gap. So after noticing the gap, that there's a lack of African luxury clothing brands, we then thought we should bring ethnic designs to the world. So what we did is we saw it fit to have a luxurious clothing brand that produces high quality clothing for men and women who appreciate modern contemporary designs that are fused with your minimalistic touch of traditional and cultural wear. Our target market generally is your direct consumer and your retailers, the boutiques, your Edgars, your Woolworths, yeah. So Bantu Clothing started in 2018 as Afrique. This was just me working with two machines. I used to do 10 to 20 orders a day. And then we rebranded in 2023 and became Bantu Clothing. We now have a capacity of 10 machines at a factory, and we do produce 150 to 100 garments per day. Our revenue streams, it's our in-house clothing range, footwear, Bantu footwear, CMT, which means cut, make, and trim, and our consulting services. So we have our price range for our collections. Kids wear ranges from $60 to $100. The ladies ranges from $100 to $500. And then our marketing penetration strategy was we develop a unique brand identity built on telling African stories. So we're basically telling your story your way through clothing. We also have our signature Bantu pattern, which is still in the process of being made. And then we've got e-commerce, so we sell through online stores, and yeah. So we also did social media influencer partnerships targeting, your diaspora, your young global markets. So we've been exporting informally, but we are here now because we want to work with Zimtrade to help us formalize everything and we'll be able to export. I'll just run you through our financials. Afrique, yes, we had an average of 10 to 15 monthly customers, with each garment ranging from $60 to $80. And that gave us a turnover of $600 a month and $7,000 a year. Our profit margin was 30%. So during the 1-2 years, which is between January and now, we've made $7,000. Well, between $7,000 to $7.5 on CMT, which is your work suits, your corporate wear. And then we've also managed to make roughly 10 outfits a month, which the price range is $80 to $500. This is what we call export, but it's informal export. That's generally Bantu Clothing. These are our pieces. You'll notice that we do ethnic infused designs that look different and uniquely telling your own story. Thank you so much.
Zimbabwe's vibrant clothing sector bursts with creative talent and innovation. Emerging designers are pushing boundaries and experimenting with new techniques. Kelly believes her unique ethnic creations are ready for the global stage.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you said you make about 150 garments per month. Who is your typical customer?
For the 50 to 100, it's the corporates. We supply mines with work suits, office wear, and yeah, that's the one we do 50 to 100.
And you said your price point is $60 to $100 per unit for kids and $100 to $500 for adult wear.
Yes.
What are the prices of those garments up there?
Okay, so this one right next to me is $300. That one is $200, and the last one is $100.
Okay, what makes that garment $300?
The work and effort put in behind and the fabric costs. So you'll notice that there's a map of Africa. Creating such a complex design takes a lot of time and infused thought process into making it come out looking clean like this. It's just that the garments are away, but if you have a feel of the fabrics, you'll feel that they're luxurious fabrics and they're really expensive to the touch and they're very comfortable. So that makes it that
And it's a
price.
quality that will last?
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Okay. Who's your target market?
So my target market for this one, as I had mentioned earlier, is the global influencers, your social media persons. So I've got 2 age ranges for this one. You've got your middle class, which I'm looking at maybe my late 20s to 30s. And then I've got the young ones, the ones who are now the ones who spend more time on social media, the 16s to 20s.
Okay, and how many would you produce of that dress?
For this one, because I supply a niche market, I could only produce 20 of these. We can't do bulk of anything more than 20. Because at the end of the day, we're promising you that you have to be unique. If there's 100 of you, then that's not unique.
You talked of protective wear. I'm not seeing any of it here.
Yes, that's not
Does
what
it
I've
mean
come
that is
to-
not meaningful to your business model?
No, not even. It's actually the
It's
base.
actually the biggest seller. It's
Yes.
the biggest contributor.
It's the biggest contributor.
According to
but
the
for the Zim Trade program, because we get a lot of drill, for example, the worksuit material, it's available in South Africa, it's available even locally. There's quality that you can buy. For these outfits, it's hard to get fabric. So for the incubator, we're here to ask you to help us purchase fabrics financially and also sourcing the fabrics, good quality fabrics for our brand.
If your target is to export, then it would also be good for you to look at your options locally
Okay.
for material. Because
Okay.
the more local content that you have, the more value that you're creating within to take without. If you're going to import just to export, then it's going to cancel off each other. The idea behind increasing exports is so that we increase the foreign currency that we're earning from outside, not sending it there.
I
Okay.
totally agree. That's
So
a valid
what
point.
is the local content of your outfits there?
The middle one is local. Everything is local.
What fabric is that?
This one is mocha. This one's called the mocha fabric.
Mocha.
It's for upholstery. Yes, these are upholstery fabrics. That one's upholstery. That one's for curtains. But because we've got an eye for uniqueness, we see things that people don't see and bring it to life. And
You're going to start a riot because you know that saying, are you wearing your mother's curtain? Yeah, that you're bringing life to that.
yeah, because imagine someone seeing that fabric and thinking, wow, that fabric is so nice. I've seen it in a curtain, but I didn't know that you can produce such a nice, lovely outfit. Because you'll notice that...
But does it feel lovely when you wear it if it's
Yes.
for curtains?
Kelly sparks curiosity and concern as she reveals her unconventional choice of material, curtain cloth. Tobe wants to gain clarity about this model.
I'm a bit confused because you say this is high end,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And then I believed you, especially with the first garments, you know?
Okay.
And then now when you started saying curtain, how does that even work? How does curtain material become luxurious?
Okay, so with Rwanda clothing, we create our own stories. We don't normally follow the norm in the fashion industry to say you look at a fabric and you allocate it towards curtain. Because when you buy this fabric locally, they say it's a curtain fabric. But when you go out there, you'll find this fabric being worn as a suit. So with Rwanda clothing, we look at things internationally because we want to export. We look at what our market is hungry for. So whenever we're supplying anything, it's something that we would have checked the quality versus the styling, if it will come out nicely on the outfit, and if the customer will be happy with it.
I have no doubt about the creativity,
Okay.
but what I really need assurance on, or clarification rather on, is whether you've done enough research and there is a real demand, not an envisaged demand, but a real demand for your products.
Yes, so we've been exporting from 2018. But like I said, we were exporting informally. And then we noticed that there's a demand in the market for the products. Because you'll notice that how we're exporting, we make an outfit for someone, they see how it looks, they want it, and then whoever's traveling, we then send it with them. So you'll find that we can export 6 outfits just for one client. One client will place 6 outfits.
I'm looking at also your revenue streams and your pricing. If you're saying your dresses, your luxury range ranges from around maybe $300 or $100 to $500.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are able to sell about 50 to 100 units. So by virtue of organic growth, you should have enough money right now.
Sorry, ma'am.
To be able
maybe
to...
the figures. The 50 to 100 is not these. That's your CMTs, your work suits, your corporate wear. That's where we're doing 50 to 100 units.
Okay.
For these ones, they are niche market clothes. We can't produce 50 to 100. That doesn't make them unique.
Okay, so in a month, how many of these niche market do you produce?
For these ones, we can produce maybe 20 to 50. 50 is
Yeah,
ceiling.
we are still in agreement because still, if we are at 50 times
$300,
500, exactly.
You see.
You are already there. And I'm saying, why don't you have the money? What are you doing with the money?
We don't have fabric. I'm sorry to say, but the fabric that we want to give you as a client, we really haven't found.
Where am I getting that you are making 20 to 50 dresses of the luxury range? You just said it.
Yes.
But now when I'm saying, where's the money? Why are you
Talking
being
about
evasive?
fabric.
Oh, okay. No. Maybe I hadn't got the question right. Okay, so what we were doing is we're investing in capacity. So now we have 10 machines and we're running a factory. So when we were getting the money, we were building capacity because we can't export with just 2 machines. Imagine if we get 20 clients that want 50 orders, we need to be able to produce them and not run dry.
Okay, so now that you have built enough capacity and you've got the 10 machines, are you not able to be patient enough to...
From Zimtrade, besides the money, which is what we're discussing right now, we want help with obtaining the export market, penetrating the export market. We also want grooming, because right now, like I had said, we started as just me making whatever I was making. That doesn't mean I'm able to export client interaction, international standards, all that. This is what we came here for Zimtrade.
You know exactly what you want. You know exactly what you want. Myself, I like how you have been growing the business organically from 2 machines to 10 machines. You are plowing back. I like the hunger for export. I like the innovativeness which you have there. Yeah. So you have already been exporting, though informal. You are on the right platform now with Zimtrade, and I want to see you further. It's a yes from me.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's a yes for me as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think you need to take up a strategy of sourcing your fabrics locally.
Okay.
Work with what we have within Zimbabwe. For example, I'm not sure what fabric you've made the map of Africa with, but you could easily substitute that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so think around, ideate around using alternatives that are locally available. All right, that way you've taken away the headache of having to import. Okay, because number one, the cost of shipping these days is way high. All right, so you're going to be paying for freight charges on your material more than the cost of the material itself.
True.
So you rather save yourself that trouble, focus on your unique designs, and then you can charge your premium for that. Okay, it's a yes from me. I want to see more from you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done.
The entrepreneur flies out of the nest with 3 votes. The judges have concluded that, despite its unconventional nature, Bantu clothing has the potential to make it in the export market. Next is Dunford from the city of Masvingo.
Hello, judges.
Hello.
I'm Danford Mundandishe from Cleanup Detergents. I'm the director and co-founder of Cleanup Detergents. With the influx and with the more production and upcoming of cleaning detergents companies which are producing, we've seen that there is a lot of poor quality detergents in the industry. So we have come up with quality detergents which will give us, which will put us up higher than all other detergents which are in the industry. We are also doing this using our highly qualified chemical engineers, and we also intend to dominate the market more than we have been doing. We have been selling in Masvingo and throughout the country. We have been distributing the detergents so well. So with the Eagle Nest, we intend also to get the incubation that will enable us to get into the export market. Thank you.
Thank you. What's your background?
I studied local governance. I completed in 2016. So after completing my first degree, I then ventured into selling of cleaning equipment. Then we then registered the company, and we continued producing. So with my background of being a social scientist, I didn't have enough knowledge about chemical engineering. So we had to outsource and do more research with using chemical engineers locally and other chemical engineers from South Africa.
So in your team, we have got a chemical engineer.
Yes, we have a chemical engineer.
As in outsourcing or within the team?
Usually we call him as a consultant. He comes in whenever we want to introduce a new type of chemical. He comes in and he does the formulations.
Okay. When we need your products, where do we find them? In the shops? Where do we get them?
We have been trying to penetrate into the retail market, but we stopped the process because with our capacity, we cannot supply the supermarkets and other retail market because the capital which we have, our working capital, cannot sustain doing that business with them.
So where are you selling and the quantities? Maybe if you could walk us through that.
Okay, yeah, we are supplying institutions. We are supplying big companies, schools, universities, and also the drop-in customers, which can come through our shop in Masvingo. They can also buy from us. But from Masvingo, we are also distributing throughout the country and even in Harare, here in Harare.
So you are dealing with bulk orders, not small orders?
Small orders, we deal with them, but not so much, since we are not into the retail space. The pine gel, the dishwashing liquid, and the degreasers, the engine cleaners, they at times find their way into the retail market, especially the space shop and other retail shops.
With vast experience supplying institutions and organizations in bulk, Dunford believes he is ready to expand his brand into the retail market and beyond borders. Diana is eager to learn about his capacity.
So tell us about your capacity.
Last year for Pine Gel, we managed to produce about 6,000 liters. And for Degreaser, we managed to produce 1,500 liters. Dishwashing liquid, we produced more. It was about 6,000 liters.
You said your bulk sizes
Yes.
were the ones you are moving mostly.
Yeah, they are moving faster because we supply institutions.
Okay, so those are 20 liter and 5 liter buckets.
Yes.
Okay, and what is your price point on 5 liters?
On 5 liters for Pine Gel, it's $15.
Mm-hmm.
Then 20 liters goes for $40.
Okay, so what was your sales turnover last year?
For all our products and equipment, we sold around 45,000.
45,000 liters or $45,000?
$45,000 for all our sales, but for detergents it was around 31,000.
You don't only do detergents. What else do you do?
We also do cleaning equipment like mops, but those one we do not produce. We just buy and sell.
Oh, I see.
But for detergents, we manufacture them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. I like your business model. It's pointless letting somebody else make that money when you can make it, isn't it? That makes good business sense. And what is your cost structure?
For our degreaser, to make that 500 mils, we need 75 cents. So we are selling that at wholesale, it's $1.50. Then for retail, we are selling it at $2 to $2.50.
The judges seem impressed by the entrepreneur's business model and capacity. However, something about the products has Tube concerned.
I'm looking at your detergents and your packaging.
Yes.
And your containers, right? Let's start off with the dishwasher, right?
Yes.
So when I look at that container and the packaging, it really does look like dishwasher, right?
Yes.
But then there's this other thing that looks like a body lotion. I think it's the degreaser.
The degreaser.
Yes. To me, at first glance, it looks like a body lotion. And then there's this one. It actually reminds me of Sanjem.
Okay. The general Pine Gel, which you know is usually green, but the formulations which you are using, the color green is not stable in that Pine Gel. So we opt for other colors. And also, whenever someone uses our Pine Gel, it will continue to ring in their mind that the Pine Gel which I used is not green. So they will continuously look for this Pine Gel of this color.
So there's good different and there's also bad different,
Sure.
right? Now I'm not even talking about the color yet. I'm talking about the container, right? I've seen this container in the supermarkets and the contents inside, they'll either be jam or peanut butter.
It's widely there in the supermarkets, that packaging. For degreaser also, we have a competitor who is also doing very well, a competitor with quite a similar packaging for degreaser. So it's now popular, that packaging for degreaser, than the traditional one, which was already there.
And I think even if you find today the engine oils, they're also coming in a similar shaped bottle, isn't it?
They come in this shape or bottles, but usually they differentiate in colors. Usually they are in gray
and black.
and red, those other colors. But for degreaser, this is the new bottle which we are using.
Okay.
The entrepreneur family defends their product packaging, citing its alignment with the ever-changing trends in the sector. Now, the judges are ready to render their verdict.
I'm happy that you have decided to rope in people that have the know-how, like the chemical engineers. You're not just doing trial and error. And you seem to have really done a lot of research around your product, and also your product development is on point. I like the innovations that you are really adamant that, I'm going to have an orange pine gel because of A, B, C, D. I like that type of, research-based outcome. So it's a yes for me.
Oh, thank you.
Good. I like the fact that you've gotten local traction on your products and that you're pushing it further than your immediate surroundings. That means generally your product is attractive to people who use these products. Okay, I'd like to see more of that, but I think you're going in the right direction. That your next growth is now into the export markets. So it's a yes from me, and I look forward to seeing what more you can do.
Thank you.
I'm happy with your target market. Already you are going for your schools, your big organizations there. You are also playing well in terms of hedging, in terms of your value. But we would like to see your product in the main supermarkets as well, so that it gets into the people. Your trust for exports will obviously hedge you against some of the fluctuations. That's why you are here. The other plus, as has been said, is having your chemical engineer. It shows that you are conscious about the quality of your product, and in terms of branding, you are already there, which means you are on the right platform in terms of Zimtrade, and we would like to see you go higher. Okay. It's a yes for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, judges.
Dunford is through to the next stage, where he will receive training to improve his business for the global markets. The COVID-19 pandemic brought unprecedented challenges to the country. But amidst the adversity, it also sparked a wave of innovation. Next is a business born from this adversity.
Hi, judges.
Hello.
My name is Tinashe Zindi. I'm a co-founder of Honey Fountains ZW. Honey Fountain was founded during the COVID era in 2020. We are doing native teas to Zimbabwe. That is mainly Makoni and Zumbani tea. And we are spanning our range of products as we are moving. So basically what we are doing is we've got loose leaf teas and we've got the tea bag range. So I'll take you back a little bit. It's a short story that inspired me to move into teas. There's a short story I read about King Makoni in Makoni district in Manicaland. It was about a tree that had herbal properties that the king would give his soldiers to increase stamina, boost immunity, and heal wounds from the war. So we then picked it up and we related it to our today society. And we find that people are moving towards being health conscious. So we then said we are stepping in and we are going to introduce these teas to our market. We find that 60% of men above 45 years and above are suffering from prostate disorders. And then you find that young women and girls are suffering from menstrual flow problems, and they also have problems to do with abdominal pains. So we also then found out that we can then step in and produce these teas that can help in alleviating all these challenges. Makoni tea is also known as Zimbabwe's rooibos, which is rich in zinc. We also have our Zumbani range, also known as the fever tea, which is used for colds and flu, which was very predominantly used during the COVID era, popularly doing what's known as kunatira. So we have also introduced a small sachet called the Natira to help alleviate colds and flus. Locally, we were supplying Pomona Farmers Market, and in Mutare, we were supplying Arcade Pharmacy. And we're also looking at expanding our range into the tourism industry so that we can give hotels and curio stores so that the narrative of our teas is taken back to other countries so that they know what we have in this country.
The focus on wellness and natural products endures, driving continued demand for herbal teas post-pandemic. Tinashe is confident his products can capture a portion of this market.
You started during the COVID era.
Yes, I started during the COVID era.
Okay. And in terms of your product, you are talking a good story about King Makoni and so forth. But on this branding, which I'm looking at, I'm not seeing that. Why? Why are you hiding the story?
Basically, what's happening is our packaging and branding has been transcending, or we've been changing from the COVID era. So our packaging is still improving, and there are necessary changes that we are making to it so that the narrative of the Makoniness comes to life again.
Okay, equally, even when we look at the Zumbani side,
Yes.
I am not seeing even your name as well.
Or it's at the backlatch.
You can barely read it. The font on all of your labels at the back is very small, and you have to strain to read. So, but you haven't even taken up all the space available. You could increase that to take up the full space and also increase the font.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. I want to know if you have actually fully serviced the local market.
I haven't fully serviced the local market as of yet.
It's the first time I've seen your brand.
Yes. I haven't fully serviced the local market.
What's your current capacity?
Okay, these teas are seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
So you find that you can only collect them during the summer period when it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they bud and you get the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
So my current capacity, I can collect up to 500 kgs to a ton per season.
How much does that produce? How many of these SKUs does it produce? The 500 kgs to 1 ton.
In a season, if you're going to look at the boxes, we are looking at on a ton, we're looking at about 20,000 units.
Of each? Is it of the Makoni and of the Zumbani, or just of one?
Just one. But if we are going to, we could actually split to say within the 1 ton, we can do loose leaf and the tea bags, depending on what the market wants.
What are you selling a box for?
The box is going for $2.50.
All right. And what does it cost you to produce the box?
To produce the box, it costs me 50 cents.
Not just the box and contents.
The box and the contents, they
Getting
cost...
this onto a shelf
or
to
getting
a
it
customer.
onto the shelf is 75 cents.
Total cost?
Total cost is 75 cents.
Oh. So you're making a profit of $1.75?
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible. That's 325%.
Yeah, that would be serious money.
All right, so what is the limitation? Why are you only doing 500 to 1 ton?
So what happened was during the COVID era, I got tea merchants who came in from the UK. And they wanted the Zumbani because there was a mystic story about it curing COVID. I then gave them about 400 kgs. That's the quantity that they wanted of the loose leaf. I then said, look, I can step up this and introduce it locally and move the volumes up. So that's the point where I'm at right now.
So it's not a financial limitation then?
It's not a financial
You
limitation.
could fund 2 tons if you wanted. You could fund 3 tons if you wanted.
I can because I collect it at the farm.
You collect it at the farm?
Yes.
You're farming it yourself?
It grows naturally in the bush.
It grows
at the farm.
The Makoni as well as the
Zumbani.
Zumbani?
Yeah, the Makoni and the Zumbani. So I just literally collect it at the farm. Then we do the drying at the farm.
How do you dry naturally? Natural sun?
We put it in shade so that it dries
Slowly.
off, not with the direct sunlight, because if it gets hit by the direct sun, it loses some of the nutritional components in it.
Okay. So Tinashe, if I heard you well, you said that these trees are seasonal.
Yes.
So does that mean that you don't have a constant supply of your teas throughout the year?
Throughout the year, we can do collections for the year, and we can buy from locals as well when we've got like a huge demand. So we can do collections for the year. But I was collecting based on the current organic demand that I had. So I was doing it at a smaller scale. But if we get like bigger quantities, we can collect bigger quantities to supply for the whole year.
Okay, still on the seasonality, because I think I've seen someone who does something similar to what you're doing with Zumbani. I want to understand what exactly you mean when you say the Zumbani plant is seasonal. Are you saying that there's a time when you go there and there is nothing?
These leaves, you just don't collect the leaves or harvest the bushes. Mm-hmm. You have to wait for them to mature.
Okay.
So how you tell that the Zumbani tree has matured is when you start to get, when the berries on it, they're purple when it's still growing. When they start to turn brown, it's now getting mature. Mm-hmm. So you can then find that throughout the year, you can have the bush with the leaves, but the leaves are not well matured enough to bring out the taste and the nutrition component of it. But some, they do collect it and they just process it that way.
So in terms of turnover, how much is your turnover? How much is your monthly turnover?
From the last season that we had, we're looking at $300 to $400.
And how much are your expenses?
For the month, my expenses are around $80. It's for collection. The other 40 is for packaging. But now my packaging is a variable cost because you might get someone who says, I want 200 units. You might get someone who says, I want 500 units. So the packaging component is variable.
Tinashe's confident stance appears effective so far. However, Gerald is harboring concerns about the sustainability of the idea.
How sustainable is your business? It's not something that was just triggered by COVID and then you have some few bushes in your farm. Who owns the farm? Who is assisting you in harvesting?
Okay.
How consistent are you in terms of the quality?
My father owns the farm.
Mm-hmm.
On the collection part, I use locals
to supervise the harvesting. Yes. Because there is some point where you said when you have got too much demand and you don't have, then the other local people can supply from their own other areas. And that is an issue of consistency for me. It's not coming out there. You are saying you harvest when the leaf is getting brown. The other people who are neighboring, how will they be consistent with that quality? Yes. Who supervises them?
From that point of view, when we are buying from other suppliers surrounding us, there's an issue of quality concerns, yes. When they bring in the leaves, we subject them to an inspection process because we've got our own sampled way of drying and what it should look like and the taste. So basically that's a check that we have, but it might not be that thorough, but we are saying that's a check that we do from our end.
Your numbers are a little bit all over the place because you said you're processing about 500 to 1 metric ton, which gives you about 20,000 units of the product.
No, I didn't say I'm processing a ton. I'm saying we can do up to. We can do a ton plus.
Okay, I asked what your capacity was, and that was the response to capacity.
The way I got it was how much I can do in terms of collection and processing of it.
I then asked you what was your limitation, and you said no, you could even do 2 tons or 3 tons. So this wasn't the answer to what your maximum capacity was. It was what your current capacity.
I'm not doing a ton.
How much are you doing?
I'm doing, okay, at the moment, I'm doing around 400 based on my capacity, on the demand, capacity of demand. So the demand is the one that's driving my collection.
It appears the judges are now ready to deliver their verdict. Will the misstep in numbers prove fatal to his pitch? Diana is up first to cast her vote.
I think you have a good product, and I think you'll benefit from the Zimtrade program. I'm not sure whether your tea merchants were only interested because of the COVID issues that we were having at that time, and whether you'll be able to drive consistent demand outside of the country, but it's yet to be seen. I think it's worthwhile pushing you through to the next round to see whether you can do something, but you definitely need to do more work on your pricing and your pitching.
I like the Makoni chief story, yeah, but I'm a bit disappointed in the fact that you're not able to support it with facts. And in terms of your figures, all I can tell you is that next time don't try what you tried, because figures don't lie. So you have to go back and get your figures right. I really feel that I can only give you a yes on condition that you promise that when you come back with your figures, you're going to be telling the truth and that you're also going to improve on your packaging. So my yes is conditional. So are you going to do the right thing?
I'll do the right thing.
It's a yes.
Looking at your product, we already have Zumbani tea on the shelves. We already have Makoni tea on the shelves. We need to see the story which you are talking of. If you are going to be selling health, we want to see it on your packaging as well. If you are going to sell test, we want to see it on your packaging. So you have a lot to do. Some of the packaging doesn't talk about your name. Some do have. There is no consistency. I believe you are just starting. The product is good the way you are going through. You need to look at your figures. You also need to look at how you are doing your business. Is it sustainable? It could be something which are just saying, let me experiment with my neighbors and so forth. But look at it and say, is this model which I'm working on consistent and sustainable? Because when you're looking at exporting, we want to understand how you're harvesting, what is involved in there, what is the quality control and so forth. Because it's something which we drink, and we are talking of health issues here. So I love the concept. I'll give you a yes, but there is a lot of work which you need to do.
Well done.
Well done.
Thank you.
3 yeses. See you next time.
Thank you, Eagles.
Despite the misstep, the judges recognize the entrepreneur's vision and have granted the herbal tea business a chance to proceed to the next round, a testament to their belief in its export potential.
Yeah, his figures are not correct.
No, they're not.
Because we'll be sold up the river and then there's nothing.
Yeah.
He needs to tell his story through his packaging.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if I saw that I could have the healing powers of a Makoni warrior, and they say, I'd definitely be into this tea.
Yeah.